Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of Prospect Watch with your host, Lance Green.
All right, guys, another special edition of Prospect Watch here as we start to take a look at the top 5 players in positional spots here. So we did previously the top 5 defensemen. And you can catch that show as well. I think that's doing pretty well, Steel. Yeah.
Yep.
So
for sure.
In this episode, we're going to look at the top 5 forwards in the draft that we think are going to be a hot commodity, come the spring.
And yeah, we said top 5, but there might be a few honorable mentions. So thank you all very much for hopping on and checking us out, man. We really appreciate you being here. Please, if you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe. That really helps us out, man. That really gets us going. Also, really appreciate Spreaker for all your help in getting us out to all the podcasting platforms out there, man. Really appreciate it. All you have to do is type in Prospect Watch on your favorite podcasting platform. We come up, you give us a 5-star rating, of course, give us a listen. And then, that helps us out as well, too. So please hit the like and subscribe. Really appreciate that. Hop on over to SteelFlyers.com/links/Prospect Watch Show to catch all the latest episodes of the Prospect Watch. From our interviews with Matthew Schaefer to our top 5 defensemen and to all the other great shows that we put out there as well. Be sure to go over to SteelFlyers.com to check out all the great stuff. And also check us out on Facebook and also check us out on YouTube. You can go to the YouTube channel, Steel Flyers All Sports Network, and pull up the playlist and see all the great stuff that we do there as well, too. So thank you very much. And thank you, Lance, for all the great articles that you write about all these great players that we're going to talk about on the show. Go over to SteelFlyers.com/links/Prospect Watch Show and check out the latest article that Lance did, top 5 defensemen and top 5 forwards. Guess what? We're talking about the top 5 forwards that are going to be available in this coming draft, 2025 NHL Draft. And Lance, I'll tell you what, buddy, you got a great article put together with some great guys, some great names. Some we pretty much expect are going to be there. Some we weren't expecting to be there. And some were like, wait a minute, why aren't they there?
I hear you.
Okay, right, because, man, there's a lot of good ones this year. This is a very, very deep draft. It's something we've been talking about for the last 2 years. 2025 and 2026 are going to be really deep drafts when it comes to forwards, defensemen, and, yes, even goaltenders. So let's hop right in, shall we, Lance?
Sure.
All right, are you ready to go?
I think so.
All right, okay. Here we go, folks. Prospect Watch, talking about a special edition for the top 5 forwards eligible in this year's coming draft, 2025 NHL Draft. And the first name on our list is, I don't even think this is a question. Do you know what I mean? I know there's going to be questions out there for other folks, but as far as you and I are concerned, James Hagens, number 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this kid is amazing. A center prospect, obviously. 5'11", 176 pounds right now. So not the biggest guy, but man, he proved in World Juniors that he didn't need to be, right?
Right.
18 years old, from New York. Just, man, I've never seen a kid, Steel, be able to play this young with his head up for the entire time. He never looks down at the puck. He knows where it is on his stick. It is amazing.
I know.
It is absolutely amazing to watch. It looks like it's a video game or something for him out there, and he's playing in rookie mode.
Yeah.
Because it's that easy for him at this level. I mean, and you can look at just, the gold medals he has to prove it, right? You know, a lot of people kind of started to look down on him a little bit when he went to Boston College, and but he had nothing else to prove really with the U.S. national team, right? He's 18 now. You know, last year with them, he had well over 100 points and, you know, 40 goals and all kinds of stuff, like massive amounts of points.
And just in 22 games this year, he's got 6 goals and 19 assists for 25 points. So I mean,
right. So he's
the kid knows how to put the biscuit in the basket.
Right. He's gotten going now. And you got to realize that Boston College has a wealth of talent already drafted on that roster that is playing above him.
Oh, yeah.
And this kid is going to be a potential number 1 overall pick, potentially, maybe. But like Steel said, now that he's gotten going in the season and proved himself a little bit with Boston College, the Eagles are now having him play more and more, where he's over a point per game player now. And Steel, you know, me being an old goaltender, I like a plus player, and he's a plus 18. Okay,
Hello!
so that is you know, he's defensively sound as well. Yep. All right, he's got a shot. You know, he's an amazing speedster. When he gets the puck on his stick, he doesn't even slow down, Steel. It looks like he speeds up.
Yeah,
and that's rare in a sense as well. So I mean, a two-way center who's as good as he is defensively as he is offensively. He can skate with anybody. I mean, what's not to love about this kid? And at World Juniors for good old Team USA, in 7 games, he had 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 points, and he was a +9 in this tournament. And that's a true test for a lot of scouts.
I agree. No, I agree.
For scouts, because yes, they can be an explosive player in their own right, in their league, wherever they're playing in the world. But what happens when you get everybody together in one arena, playing for their nation's colors and putting up the best prospects against the best prospects from every country? And he showed his worth for sure. He showed that he's elite, and that's a reason why he's going to be one of the top players taken in this draft. It's all, you know, what they need, you know, at that level. I mean, some of those teams have been kind of horrible for quite a few years and been drafting the top offensive player every year. So it depends how the dominoes fall. They might want to take a top defender or something like that to kind of balance their team a little bit. But it's going to be hard to pass by this guy if he's sitting there and I got my number 1 pick, Steel. I got to tell you.
Okay. I mean, I like how he skates. I like his tenacity. I like his willingness to also get into the dirty areas. Do you know what I mean? And you saw that in the World Juniors, where he was constantly buzzing around the net, and it just seemed like the puck just seemed to follow him around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the guy is just, it's very rare that you see a young player. Now, look, we say young, but he's 18, so he's a little bit more established, playing for Boston College. That team is stacked, folks, with already number 1 draft picks. Okay. And the fact that he's playing there and still producing at a point per game tells you a lot, even though he's probably playing 3rd or 4th line minutes up there. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with you on this as far as top forwards all day long. I like this kid has a very high ceiling. Like, I don't think we've seen his best yet. I don't think we've even seen him fully grown and matured yet either. You know what I mean? I think he might have another inch or two he could probably put on another couple 10, 20 pounds, depending on how things go. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I can't wait to see him in like a year or 2 from now.
Yeah, for sure. He's a special player right now, but you know, when he gets in an NHL camp and starts learning from professional coaches exactly what they want for him and how best to achieve those goals, that's going to be something pretty special.
I think so too. And I think he's going to be another one of those special players that we're going to see coming out in the draft. There's going to be quite a few of them, I think. Like we said, this draft is going to be pretty deep. Next year's draft is going to be just as deep. So you're going to see a lot of these. I don't want to call them generational players. I just want to call them special players. Because I don't think we have a Sidney Crosby or a Connor McDavid in the next two drafts, but I think we have guys that are probably just a tiny click below them, but still elite, still, you know what I mean?
They're gonna be definitely banner hanging
right
type players.
Right.
These people are going to be plastered over the billboards and the banners hanging outside the buildings of their respected teams. But yeah, I don't think that they're the next Alexander Ovechkin in this draft. But man, this kid and others that we're getting ready to talk about right here are going to be special players that are going to be contributing factors for the next 10 to 15 years for whatever team that drafts them. For sure.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why we like doing this, is because we like having doing these kinds of shows so we can break down these kinds of players. Because look, folks, we look at a lot of tape. We watch a lot of young players play hockey, and it's refreshing to see players with their heads screwed on and know what they want and have the work ethic and willing to do what they need to do to get it there. And when you talk to these kids on a regular basis like we do, you see the drive, you see the work ethic, you see the want to, you see the goals that they set for themselves. You know what I mean? So you see the drive for these kids, and it's very refreshing to see. So I'm going to tell you right now, this guy here, I wouldn't even say is a number 2. I would say 1A. Right? As far as I'm concerned. And we're talking about Porter Martone. Yeah. And he's the number 2 guy on your list. But in theory, I would put him as 1A. Well, that's my top 5 list actually has 7 players on it. So yours only has 5. So
Right. Porter is a fantastic young player. I mean, he plays for the Steelheads of the OHL, and scouts are going to love this guy because not only is he a sniper, he can, score goals at will, but he's got the size. He's got NHL size still. 6'3", 207 pounds already. Big body winger who's going to be a power forward. He is a power forward, but in the NHL, in terms of the NHL, he's going to be a big body power forward for an NHL team. And, I don't see a whole lot of those coming out of the draft, especially with his offensive talents.
Not like him, and not with that size.
Not doing this, right?
Yeah.
Not scoring points at the rate he is. And, this year he's the captain of that team. And 33 games, he already has 22 goals, 40 assists for 62 points. He's a plus 15.
33 games.
Yep. He's projected, if he keeps up at this pace, to score 111 points this season.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, this kid can play. He is probably one of the best players to come out of Canada. The next guy we'll talk about is right there with him. But they're a little bit different player. Okay. This is a big body power forward that can get in the dirty areas, can score those goals when needed. I really like him still. I think he's going to be an amazing NHL player. He's got the size. He could probably step in next season if a team wants him to, because of his size. His strength is already there.
He already has the shot.
He's got an NHL shot already. So I think that a struggling team inside the top 5, obviously, overall, is going to snatch this kind of guy up, because this is not a guy that you're going to have to wait 2 or 3 seasons to develop.
Exactly.
He's going to be ready now if you want him to be. You know? You could send him back to juniors, but at a projected rate of 111 points, what else does he got to prove next year? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're taking a risk of players trying to prove themselves down there, taking runs at them and everything else like that. If you're a struggling team, a franchise, and you need a face of your franchise to come in and sell some jerseys and get some butts in seats, this is your guy. This is your guy that's going to be able to do that and produce, maybe not the top player, that'll be available in this draft, but he's darn close, and he's probably the most NHL ready.
I look at him as exactly what you just said, Lance. I look at him as NHL ready because he's already playing the NHL game already. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, when you watch him play, he's already kind of playing the NHL game already. He looks like a man amongst boys out there. He really does. He really does. He's the kind of guy that when he steps out onto the ice, other teams' coaches are going to send defenders against him because he's that kind of a threat. He follows through on his checks, right? You watch him play, he's got that mindset. He knows how to use his body to get where he wants to go on the ice. Okay? And that is very attractive as far as seeing a big body forward like that, that is willing to use his body to get where he needs to go. He's got good skating ability. He's got good stride, but he really has an NHL shot already. And you can definitely tell he's going to be that power forward, that quintessential power forward that you need, that is going to be able to plant there in front of the net and be that tip-in guy, or be that guy that's going to go and take care of business when it needs to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I honestly think that with all the players that we've talked to and all the players that are going to be available, I think you're going to see Porter go in the top 5.
Yeah, I think that's, definitely a reasonable, likelihood of that happening. I think that, like I said, he's going to be a hot commodity to a team that needs somebody now.
And I was quite surprised at his limited role with Team Canada at juniors. I mean, he only played 2 games.
3, yeah, right? Something like that. Yeah, 2 or 3 games.
I think he was sick though for 1 game.
I don't think he was 100%. And I think, between missing him and obviously, Matthew Schaefer, that hurt Team Canada and only helped,
So I can't remember if he was sick for 1 of the games and only played 2 games or something. But I was just a little bit more surprised at his limited role with Team Canada. Like, he didn't play in the first game because I think he was sick. But, they play quite a few games in the World Juniors. And the fact that if you only miss 1 game because you're sick and you're able to play 2, and they played, 5 or 6 games or something like that, Canada did before they were eliminated, it just would have been nicer to see more of a role for him on Team Canada. And I think they would have done a little better as well, too. So, all right. Porter Martone, we think, is going to go in the top 5. Okay, here we go. Number 3 on the list. Okay? And I agree. I think this player is just about at that same level, right? As far as putting the biscuit in the basket and doing the right things. And we're talking about Michael Misa here, man. Talk to me about this awesome player that we got number 3 on your list.
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as scoring ability, they play in the same league. They play in the OHL. Michael plays for the Spirit, Saginaw. And, he's got more goals. He's got more points right now than Porter. He's got 38 goals and 43 assists for 81 points right now and only 40 games played. If you do the math, that's multiple points a game, okay? So he's a plus 32. So he's defensively sound as well. All right. He's projected to finish the season with 132 points this season. So amazing young player here. Again, but I think he's a little bit different player. Okay, I don't think he's that
Yeah.
power forward-esque player
Yeah.
that Porter Martone was. He's 6'1", he's 185 pounds, so he's not small by any means, but he plays a lot smaller. He's more of a
Finesse.
speedier playmaking guy that kind of dances around the ice and doesn't look for that that contact as much. Okay, so I think he's more of that offensive prowess, the guy that everybody's going to be looking to get the puck or get the puck from, because he can pass the puck as well as he can shoot the puck. And I think that, again, this is going to be a player that is going to be a point producer in the NHL for a long time to come. Now, do I think he could possibly be next season step in there? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he might need another year of juniors. Although he's scoring at such a high rate now, it's tough to send the player back to that. But it's going to depend on who drafts him. But whomever does, it's going to be quite the pickup, because this guy is going to be an immediate threat into somebody's top six, when he does make the NHL.
Agreed. He does have a very cerebral type game, more so than I think what Porter Martone. Porter Martone has the might makes right kind of mentality. You know what I mean? Like that's what I meant by when Porter is willing to use his body to get where he wants to go, where you see Misa is using his brain a little bit more and is thinking 2 steps ahead and making those plays to his other, to his line mates, or being in position for his line mates to give him the puck so he can make the play. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking the game more than physical the game. You know what I'm saying?
And he's only getting better as the season goes on.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He's only getting better. Michael is over the last 10 games, he has 20 points. Over the last 5 games, though, he's got 13. So he's operating well over 2 points a game right now. And it's just crazy. Like he's, as the season's progressing, he still is, progressing.
Better. Yep.
It's phenomenal to watch him right now. He's in such a hot streak right now.
I agree.
He's only helping us stock more and more.
Exactly. But I also agree, though, too, because I think he may need that extra year or so down in the minors just to kind of get him that bit of experience, because we all know it's a faster game when you go from the juniors to the bigs. It's a faster game because now you're playing against men. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's a faster, stronger, harder game. So will his game translate? That potentially remains to be seen. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where you look at him. He does have all the tools, and he plays a very smart game, and would be a great playmaker. Do you know what I mean? But where is he going to fit? Who's he going to fit with? It's all going to depend on what the teams want that are looking for a player like that. I still think he's going to go in the first round, though.
Oh yeah, he's going to go probably inside the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to snatch him up. So
if they don't, they'd be fools, because this player is going to make you. He's one of those players that'll make you pay if you don't pick him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sure. All right. Okay. Your number 3 pick on your top 5 forwards list is
4. Yeah. 4.
I'm sorry, number 4. Number 4. Yep. Number 3 was Misa. So number 4.
That's like 2A. Yeah, Misha's like a 2A. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, because Porter Martone was 1A.
Yeah,
right? So Misa could be a 2.
I don't know. Yeah, those 3 players are amazing. So
pretty much. Yeah. All right.
We're getting into the next tier of guys here, I think.
All right, I'm with you. Okay, so Anton Frondell is your player that you have, a center. Now I understand why this player is here. Okay, so let's talk about why you have him here at number 4.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at simple points right now and stuff like that, he hasn't played a lot of games, and he's playing in Sweden and all that stuff, and bigger ice, everything like that.
Finland. No, you don't.
No, Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. Okay. Wait, let me see. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, Sweden. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different than here, and you're seeing, like we talked about before, we're seeing so many different players come over stateside to prove themselves in the States, on what they can do from different countries. And I think this guy would have benefited from coming over to do that. But again, he went the more traditional route and stayed in his home country, to do that. But yeah, a 6-foot center, 196 pounds. This guy on tape, if you watch him, has all the intangibles. Okay.
Yeah, he does.
He's a two-way center, again, playing both ends of the ice. He's a dangler, like most Swedish, centers are. If you think of your Dasuks and everybody else through the years, just phenomenal stick handling ability, just a tactician out there, able to pick apart defensive systems and schemes and everything like that. Man, I mean, he's phenomenal. I just don't get why he's not putting up more points. And I think all the rankings still have him very high. I'm not the only one that's still boasting this guy, because when you see him in games and you see him doing something, I don't know why the pucks aren't going in for him, but I think that they will for sure. And it'll come. And I think, this player has battled some injuries, and, coming back from them and everything. So sometimes that takes a little bit more time too, but just on the raw talent alone of this player, to not draft him, certain teams that just to pass him by, he is a guy that will make you regret passing him by, and may get you fired if you do pass him by in a couple of years. When that owner sitting up there is watching the game and going, why didn't we draft that kid? So yes, look for this guy in the future. And I'm thinking, let's say the Anaheim Ducks. There's some teams like that love the Detroit Red Wings. Some teams like that.
If Detroit keeps playing the way they're playing, they're not going to be
good. They're playing pretty darn good. But those teams that throughout the years, Buffalo and these teams that aren't afraid to get these Swedish and Finnish players in their system. Carolinas, although they're going to be long drafting after he's been taken already. But those type teams are the ones that are going to snatch this guy up and that are going to see his true potential, because they have immense scouts over in these leagues across the pond there. And they're going to be the ones benefiting from him. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time for this young man. I think it's going to take a year or two.
He's like a 2 or 3 years after draft.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, that he's 17 too, versus the other guys we already talked about that are 18. And, it's going to take a little bit. But teams that are willing to wait, I think that are going to be okay with it. Those other guys we mentioned are top elite guys that are going to go in the top 10 overall picks for sure. Now, this guy is right there in that discussion, but he is also a guy that could maybe fall a little bit because of him not putting up the points that teams thought he would, and his injury battles and stuff like that. So
okay.
Whoever gets this guy is going to get a gem, if he can stay healthy and all that.
So and I've watched some tape on him, and I am impressed with the way he does play. I like his anticipation. He's got good fluidity. As far as that's concerned, he's able to make the plays. I agree. I don't understand why the puck's not going in for him. Um, I have a different player
Sure.
at number 4. And I just want to touch on this though, because I want to get into your number 5 player, and then I'm going to do the 2 honorable mentions, right? So okay.
Sure.
So Anton Frondell was number 4. So number 5, okay, the number 5 guy is Roger McQueen. Okay, he is a forward from the Brandon Wheat Kings of WHL. And tell me why you have him number 5 on the top 5 forwards eligible for the 2025 NHL Draft.
Yeah, I think this guy, if he stayed healthy, would have been in the discussion of being probably the 4th best forward. And that's because he's 6'5", 192 pounds, NHL size. He's a right-hand shot. He plays the body. He is a power forward, heavy hitter, knock people off the puck. You know, and he can score immaculately. Just all waves of the game. He can score from out by the dots. He can score in tight. He's not afraid to sit in front of the net and knock home a dirty rebound or redirect a puck. Nobody's going to move him out and from wherever he wants to set his stance up there. And he got injured this year, and as did quite a few other players, that we've talked about in this defensive top 5 and, this forward top 5 picks. And, but, he was on a record-setting pace, man. 8 games he played this season. He scored 8 goals and 11 points. A goal a game pace he was at. And even if he came back now and finished the rest of the season, at that pace, he would be over 30 goals.
I was going to say, even if he came back
he went out early and got injured. And that's not like him, because the 2 previous seasons, he played 50-plus games, 55 games. So this was kind of just a freak thing, hopefully. But amazing talent. At the Hlinka Gretzky Cup last year, he had, played in 5 games, scored 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points. He's just a point-producing forward, big body forward. Came into his own last season, dealing with him shooting up as far as height goes so much and in that short amount of time. And really did not let that bother him, but so many guys go from being a certain type player to now all of a sudden having this immense height and strength that it kind of takes a little bit of time. He took it and ran with it, or in this case skated with it, but just phenomenally. But if he gets healthy, man, this guy is going to be an amazing talent and somebody else that could step in very quickly because of his size, because of his strength, because of the way he plays the game. He plays an NHL Eastern Conference rough, grinding game. And,
you're not making any hints or anything, are you?
There's a couple of teams I could think about that could use him right about now,
right.
In that same area. Or area codes, but for sure, this guy is a phenomenal talent, and he's a guy that's going to drop because he's been injured. There's not a lot of there's previously a lot of game tape on him, but not so much this season. And
right.
Obviously GMs and owners and everything like that are going to want to see some medical records and see him skate again before they utilize that extremely high pick on him. But whoever gets this guy is going to be phenomenal help to that offense.
And I wouldn't even have a problem if he dropped to the second round.
I don't think he'll drop that far, but
Well, but what I'm saying is that if he dropped to the second round, that might open him up for more more teams available or willing to take a chance on him, because that's basically what you have to do with this player, just based off of his past medical experience and everything else like that. You know what I mean? And they do that a lot with the NFL players too, where if an NFL player comes in hurt and they get all the medical records and all the other kind of stuff too. So they'll look, a team that's going to take him is going to have to definitely do their homework and make sure that he's going to be capable of playing. If he's able to come back this year, that's only going to help him. That's only going to benefit him if he's able to come back and play at any level this year, right? And I understand why you have him at number 5, and I get it. And I watched some tape on this player, and I was kind of paying attention to him a little bit last year as well, too. I was looking at him thinking, hey, man, this guy's pretty good. He's putting up a lot of points, and he's playing a big body. And the year before, he wasn't quite as tall. And look, we look at a lot of guys, right? So, all right, I'm just going to say honorable mentions. Caleb Deone.
I knew that was the first name you were going to go to, yeah.
Yeah, why, what, where, who, why? I mean, playing for the Q, 38 games, 25 goals, 35 assists, 62 points. That ain't no slouch. And by the way, we're trying to get Caleb on the show.
We are.
So,
Wildcats, let's get it done.
So let's get it done. Come on, guys, Wildcats, let's go. But
what I think is going to hurt him the most, and he's a phenomenal player. 27 goals, 62 points already this year, is his brother. His brother is going to hurt him because Elliot Deone, who is a Flyers prospect, had the same level of hype around him. Maybe not to this extent, but was an amazing player in juniors and has not been able to progress out of the AHL.
Correct.
And that's what I think will hurt him. That's why I left him off my list.
Okay. And I saw that, but I think that his game is a bit different than his brother's. That's why I think it was.
He's totally a different player, right? He's his own man.
Right.
But
right.
That's what I was thinking in terms of people that are going to be drafting him and everything like that. I think that is going to be in the back of their mind.
Maybe.
With him.
Maybe. Depends. Maybe. Okay. All right. So that's the other name. The other name I have is Jay O'Brien. I mean, Jay O'Brien also playing for the OHL, 45 games, has 25 goals, 34 assists for 59 points already. Right? So well over a point per game player. Has all the tools, I think, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? He would be my honorable mention as well.
Yeah. Jake O'Brien, plays for the Brantford Bulldogs of the OHL. He's young. He's still, 17. Won't turn 18 until June. So he's one of the younger guys in this draft. He's a center, 6'2", 170 pounds, a little bit light for his size, but
young, 17.
He's young, uses it to his advantage. 25 goals, 59 points this season. He's a minus player, and that was my kind of catch with him. He's enticing, just watching him. Man, can he put up some points for sure. But it's that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
At that top realm, I think it's that those guys that have managed to play both ends of the ice, and that's why he was in consideration in my top 5 for sure. But maybe just on that outside, can you teach a guy to play defense? Yes. Can you teach a guy to have that natural scoring ability?
No.
Not so much. Not so much. So that is where some of those other teams and maybe the teens see him drafting in the teens, see him snatch him up and say, hey, go ahead and handle that puck down in the offensive zone, but we're going to also teach you how to play a little bit of defense.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, our top 5 players with a few honorable mentions. James Hagens, number 1. And then Porter Martone, number 2, Michael Misa, number 3, Anton Frondell, number 4, and Roger McQueen at number 5, and then our honorable mentions. Please, if you guys like what we do, hit the like and subscribe, man. We really appreciate that. Be looking forward to Lance Green's article because we got one more left. That's right, folks. We saved the best for last. Top 5 goalies. Oh, boy. Can't wait for that one, Lance. Can't wait for that one. Can't wait to do the show for the top 5 goalies as well. Thank you all very much for checking us out and tuning in, man. We really appreciate it. By the way, hop on over to Draft Utopia and check them guys out, man. They got a lot of stuff going over there about what's going on with the draft, and they're talking about a lot of things, not just from the NHL draft, but the NFL draft, the NBA draft, and the Major League Baseball draft as well, too. So hop on over to Draft Utopia and check them out as well. Be sure to hop on over to SteelFlyers.com/link/prospect watch to catch all of Lance's latest articles about the prospects and all of our latest shows as well. Thank you very much, Lance, for all you do, brother.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know if there's any prospects you want us to try to speak to. We'll reach out and try to get them on the show. And any other shows like this that you'd be willing to want to view. Of course, like Steel said, we're going to work on the goaltenders next. That is close to and near and dear to my heart, of course, since I played goaltender my whole life. So I've got about
you still are playing goaltender, man.
That I want on my list, but I'm still working on nailing out who the other 2 might be. So
good. And I'm pretty sure that we are probably going to see some names that we've spoken to on the list, I believe. What do you think, Lance?
At least a couple, yes.
Woo, just a couple. All right. Be sure to check out Prospect Watch on YouTube. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and also out there on X and on all of your podcasting platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching us. We will catch you all in the next episode of Prospect Watch.